Stop pouring hours into content that vanishes in days. What if your best work could be bringing in customers for years and not just hours? There's a simple sniff test to see if your content has this evergreen power, and I'll show you exactly how it works. So you feel that pressure too, right? Always needing to create new blog posts, new videos, and new social media updates just to stay visible. It's exhausting. So much effort goes into content that feels old almost immediately. The problem is, most content fades fast. But what if you could focus on creating assets that don't expire? Content that keeps delivering value month after month. That, my friend, is evergreen content. If we haven't met before, I'm Brandon Hurst, and I set up online systems that help businesses get more customers and increase their profits. And today we're ditching the content hamster wheel. So many business owners that I talk to feel stuck on the content treadmill. You create something, you post it, and you get a little buzz maybe, and then poof, it's gone, buried underneath the piles of new stuff online. And you feel like you constantly have to feed the beast. Does that sound familiar? Now, imagine creating a piece of content, maybe a guide, a tutorial, or an explainer that people find useful today, next month, or even 2 years from now. It continuously attracts your visitors to a website or channel without constantly pushing it. That's evergreen content. Think of it like an evergreen tree. It keeps its leaves all year round. This content stays relevant and valuable because it tackles foundational topics, core problems, or timeless questions that your audience always has. And it doesn't rely on the trends or specific dates. It's the foundation of a smart content strategy. You create it once, and it keeps working for you. Okay, timeless value sounds great, but how do you actually tell if the blog post you wrote last year or that video you made passes the evergreen sniff test? How do you separate those mayflies from the oak trees in your content library? Well, let's do a quick check. Go look at your last 5 pieces of content. Will they be just as relevant 6 months from now? And be honest, it's simpler than you think. Evergreen content usually answers the fundamental how to, what is, and why questions in your field. It focuses on core principles and not fleeting news. You should ask these questions about every piece of content. Does it solve a deep, recurring problem for my ideal customer? So for an example, how to budget for your first home versus interest rate changes this week. Number 2, is it tied to a specific date, season, or short-term event? Like a Christmas promo is not evergreen, but a guide to choosing the right XYZ is. Number 3, will the core advice still be accurate and useful in 1 to 2 years with minimal updates? Common evergreen formats include how-to guides, tutorials, foundation explainers like this, resource lists, frequently asked questions, case studies, if the principles are timeless, and checklists. Think reference materials, stuff that people are going to bookmark. And the benefits of getting this right are huge, way beyond just saving time. I'll break down the top 3 benefits next. I mean, you want better results from your online efforts, right? More website visitors, more leads, more customers. But you don't want to burn yourself out creating mountains of content that just disappears. As a business owner myself, I know you're likely already juggling a million things already. Content shouldn't feel like another impossible task that you have. Think of evergreen content as investing and not just spending time. You're building an asset, a valuable one. When you publish a solid piece of evergreen content, its value can increase over time. And here are the 3 killer benefits for it. Number 1, it's going to boost your SEO and traffic consistently. Because it stays relevant, people keep searching for it and finding it. Google notices this interest and often ranks evergreen content higher over time. And then it becomes a reliable source of traffic month after month. Number 2, it saves you a huge amount of time. You write it once and benefit from it for years. Sure, you might need tiny updates, and we'll cover that, but you're not constantly reinventing the wheel. This frees you up to focus on the other parts of your business. Number 3, it builds authority and trust. Consistently providing reliable, helpful answers to core questions establishes you as an expert. People trust brands that offer lasting value and not just fleeting hype. And okay, theory is great, but how do you actually do this? Let's get practical. You understand the what and why now, but the how feels a little fuzzy. Like, where do I find ideas? What about all the content I already made? And do I need to be an amazing writer or creator? Well, good news. You probably already have the evergreen content hiding in plain sight. And creating stuff isn't as hard as you think. Start by listening to your customers. What questions do they ask over and over? What are the biggest hurdles they face when starting out with your kind of product or service? These are your goldmine topics. Then look back at your existing content. What blog posts, videos, or guides have been consistently popular, even if they're a bit old? The main things that you need to do to make this work for you is to identify core problems. Brainstorm foundational questions your audience always asks. Then audit your existing content. Look for popular older pieces that you can update or repurpose. And pro tip, use your website analytics. Another thing you can do is create foundational guides. Focus on clear, how to, what is, or why X matter formats, and keep the language simple. When creating this, think reference. Could someone bookmark this and come back to it later? You want to aim for that. Another thing you can do is offer a resource. A simple download guide adds a huge value and can help capture leads. So you might be wondering if evergreen means set it and forget it forever. Well, not quite. There's one small thing you need to do. You've created this awesome evergreen content, and does that mean you never touch it again? Well, if you completely ignore it, it might lose its edge or accuracy. And think about it this way, even evergreen trees need a little sunlight and water. A tiny bit of maintenance is going to keep your evergreen content performing at its peak and signals to search engines that it's still relevant. Just keep it simple. You don't need major overhauls often. I recommend you review annually or biannually. Just quickly reread or rewatch it. Look for anything that's a little out of date, like small stats, links, or examples, and then just fix those. Another thing you can do is add insights if it's relevant, like has anything significantly changed? Add a small update section if needed. And keep promoting it. Don't just publish it and forget it. Share your evergreen pieces periodically on social media or in emails and link to them from newer content. Just this little bit of upkeep is going to ensure that your evergreen assets keep working hard for you for years. All right, now you know the power of evergreen content. Less stress, more traffic, and more trust. And if you want more practical tips and strategies like this to help grow your small business using smart online systems, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And let me know in the comments below. What's one piece of content that you already have or one idea that you have that you think could be evergreen for your business? I'd love to see what you're thinking. So I'm sure you still remember the feeling of being on that content hamster wheel that we talked about in the start. Well, creating evergreen content is how you get off of it. Build assets that last, focus on timeless value and not just a temporary buzz. That's how you build a stronger business online.